Thanks to Elgato for sending the Cam Link over for this review. It was provided to me, but the opinions expressed in this video are my own. So people complained about the Spawncast video feed, particularly mine, because I was using a pretty run-of-the-mill webcam, a Logitech C270, and while it got the job done for the most part, the video was very blurry and muddy, and it maxed out at 720p. That I was fortunate to get in the first place. Light exposure wasn't very good. Overall, it wasn't the best picture. And the reason I had that webcam and didn't upgrade to a nicer one is because I've been looking into something like the Cam Link. There were other ones like the Magewell USB to HDMI adapter, and that was kind of pricey. And that's the thing that we've seen with these adapters that let you plug in your nicer camera. They usually range about $300 to $400, at least until Elgato came out with their Cam Link and entered the game. Now, if you don't know what the Cam Link is, very simple. It is an adapter that lets you plug in your nicer camera, say a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, something that is higher quality, into your computer, and then it acts as a webcam, so you can get a much better picture right through your USB 3.0 port. So let's take a look at the Cam Link today and see if it's something for you, whether you're a streamer or maybe you want to have multiple feeds and just run it all through a computer. First thing we're gonna do is take a look at what comes inside the box. Now, when you first open it up, you're gonna see it's pretty straightforward. There's not a lot going on inside. It comes with an extension, so you can do USB 3, like kind of extension in case you're maybe a little further away or it's hard to reach a USB port on the back of your computer that's USB 3. This will at least extend the range slightly, not very long. And then it also comes with a sticker, of course, from Elgato. They seem to package that and everything, some instructions, and then at the bottom there, you'll see the Cam Link. Now, the Cam Link itself, the device, is a little larger than, think of like a USB flash drive, a little larger than a standard flash drive. So it is something that can fit in your pocket or in a backpack very easily, and it travels really well. The way you would hook this up, it has a USB 3.0 port on the left. It has to be USB 3, and the reason for that is because, of course, USB 3 can read and write at the same time. That way you don't have lag, maybe when you're talking on stream from your microphone to the actual camera feed. Now, after plugging in the USB 3 port to your computer, you would then run the HDMI cable from the right side to your camera. So usually that runs to something like mini HDMI or any kind of proprietary plugin that they have. And then at that time, I found that it was very plug and play. In fact, I didn't really have to do much. I did install, because I have an Elgato capture device anyway, I had already installed the device software for that, and it picked up the Cam Link right away, and it worked in OBS, which was great because I know a lot of people use something like OBS. It came up, it found it, it finds it as Cam Link in particular. It doesn't see what kind of camera you're using, it just sees it as a HDMI to USB bridge, but it sees it as a webcam. So once you click it, it'll come up with the default resolution, which the Cam Link supports 720p, 1080i, and 1080p, which is great because most of us are going to use 1080p when we stream. Now, I did record a few clips so you can see the difference between the Logitech webcam I was using with the best settings I could get in the Logitech program to kind of play around with the sliders and everything. I did have studio lighting shining on me to try to make the lighting look better, and you're going to see here. This is a quick test with the webcam that I used before I had the Cam Link with my Lumix camera. This is the C270 from Logitech. It's about a $30 to $35 webcam, and it's a webcam that a lot of people would probably start out with when they are streaming or recording videos. So this one runs straight to USB. I'm actually running it through the same USB port, the USB 3 that I will be using for the Cam Link and the Lumix test. Now, this is using the Cam Link and the Lumix G7 that I generally use to record video with away from here, and you can see how much better it reacts with lighting that is actually shining this way. I have two large studio lights over here to light up really this setting, and you can see just how much better it looks, as you would expect, obviously going against a $35 webcam and then a camera that's roughly in the neighborhood of about $700 hooked up through the Cam Link. So you really get the quality you pay for, and it looks pretty good running through the Cam Link, again, as you'd expect. Now, you're also going to want to get some kind of AC adapter for your camera if you're going to be leaving on a lot, because leaving it to run on battery, not a great idea. For example, the Lumix G7, I managed to find an AC adapter online for about 15 bucks. It just plugs into the battery compartment and then runs down into your power outlet. Don't let it run off battery because you have to leave it in standby with generally the screen on, and it will run through your battery relatively quickly, as most of us know. Now, the great thing about the Cam Link that I really like is it's not dependent on your camera. So if you get something like, let's say a Logitech, the 920 series, I believe, that is the higher end version of it, well, you're kind of attached to that webcam, and the only way you're going to upgrade is to then get another webcam. In this case, you can pretty much plug in whatever camera you want to this that is HDMI compatible. So if you have a really nice camera, you can plug it in and it'll work. If you have a more budget line that has HDMI out, it'll also work, which is great, so it's not dependent at all on the camera you're using. You can upgrade that separately and just keep your Cam Link to the side. Now, a few things I would like to see Cam Link and Elgato really pursue in the future is 4K. I think this only goes up to 1080p, and I think there are people who would like to have 4K as an option to record through their USB port as a webcam. I really do. I think there's people who are now starting to stream heavily in 4K just for future-proofing, and why not? I mean, Elgato, you might as well pursue 4K. I saw you just came out with a 4K capture device. Get on it with Cam Link because there are people who want it. Another thing I noticed a lot was occasionally, I think it might have been OBS that was acting up along with this. I would have to unplug it and replug it a couple times here and there, especially if I had just started OBS again, or maybe it crashes because OBS seems to crash a lot. But when it would crash, I'd have to unplug it, plug the Cam Link back in, turn off my camera, turn it back on, and eventually it would pop back up. So it did seem like OBS and Cam Link, while they would work, didn't always get along at the best, I would say. And everybody uses OBS, so just be wary of that. It works, but you do have to play around with it sometimes if it kind of crashes and goes off the rails. Another thing I wish they had done was have sound go through the USB and HDMI. Now, of course, a lot of webcams have a microphone built into them and it works, but for some reason I couldn't get sound at all to work going from the Lumix camera down through the Cam Link to my computer. I would have liked to have that because I do have lapel mics that I use and it syncs up right away. I don't have to play around with, do I have to delay the microphone slightly or something? Everything will just run straight through the camera, and it's just a little cleaner, I think. I know a lot of people like to use just their microphone. I think it just would have been a nice option to have. Maybe let me run my lapel microphone through the HDMI port. And Elgato, if you're listening, I would like to see that in the next iteration that you come out with. Now, the Cam Link is $130 on Amazon. If you have it prime shipped, it'll be there in 2 days, of course. You don't pay for shipping. But for $130, comparative to, say, the Magewell that was $300, something I was looking at, this is a good deal. It's a great price. It's built well. It's built from a company that, for the most part, supports all of their products with drivers and software and everything. It's a company we know, and this is a good first product in this line, and I think they will build on it as they go forward. If you're a streamer and you have a nice camera, this makes a ton of sense. You might as well jump onto this and put your webcam away, because this will give you a much better picture as opposed to any webcam you're using. So yeah, guys, I hope you liked my review of the Cam Link from Elgato. If you're a streamer, you should get this. It works well, and it would only increase the quality of your stream. If you're somebody who maybe wants to run several cameras to one source easily, not a bad idea either, since you can have OBS have multiple cameras set up and you can get a bunch of different camera angles without too much issue. You can also have your runtime go pretty much indefinitely, as big as you have your hard drive can hold, whereas some people, like the Lumix, for example, I think has like a 20-minute limit. That would kind of eliminate that. But thanks, guys, for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Links for the Elgato Cam Link are down in the description to Amazon. I'll see you guys next time.